It's a little awkward.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Thrive Tribe Saturday Shoutouts. This is where every Saturday we shout out to people in the Thrive Tribe so that we can get to know each other. We have a big group right now. It's over 1,750 people. And so little by little, we're going to get to know everybody in here. And today I'm very excited about my special guest, Kim Falahee. Welcome to the show, Kim.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Kim, and how we know each other. And
I don't know what to tell you. So I'm originally from Michigan and moved here 34 years ago. So I guess some people would decide that I'm actually a Californian by now. I've worked in the school district as a school counselor for 32 years, did middle school for 21, and I've been at the high school since 2006. At that time, I made an adjustment between the two, and so I was working both sites until February. So that was one of those years where I was in between. And I have the pleasure of knowing you through school district, and you were at Mojave, and we worked together. And you're always so positive and upbeat, and smile, always smiling, just inspirational.
Oh, thank you. I think we served on several committees together. I remember some SARB.
We did.
We might have been on together too.
We did.
Well, it's nice to see you after all these years. I wonder if you can tell us, I just have to share with you, I've done a lot of interviews this week because I was trying to kind of get ahead, and you're the third Thrive Tribe member from Michigan who's an educator.
Oh.
So that's just an interesting, I might have to do a little research study on that. It's interesting. And I just interviewed another counselor yesterday as well. And so my question is, in all of the years, that you've spent in education, what do you think has shifted as far as challenges that kids are facing today that maybe they didn't face, 5, 10, 15 years ago?
I think that social media is exhausting, and they're never off anymore. And it used to be they would deal with issues with peers just at school, and it was easier for us to help them to squelch that, to work through it, to learn to adapt or to adjust or to ignore, avoid, whatever. And with technology the way it is today, the kids are non-stop on their phones all day in school. It's way different than when we worked together. They are on their phones non-stop. They're hooked up. It's not only texting and the Snapchatting, but it's now, of course, Instagram and Twitter, and some I probably don't even know. I've learned through some conferences, there's others out there that I'm not familiar with, but they just are always barraged. They're always on. There's never any downtime. They're never disconnected. And so we are finding that to be an issue at the school. Teachers are rallying together, and we have a 4B, which is a 30-minute period before lunch for ideally for kids to get homework time, to get tutoring. And some of the teachers have turned it also into yoga, silent reading, just breathing exercises, requiring students to totally disconnect. Leave your phone at the door, you're in, this is time for just us. But I think that that's really tough for the kids.
Yeah, I think, having that time, we a long time ago in high school, we had homerooms. I know when I was in high school, we had a homeroom. And then that, it's just like education, things come in waves. So we had homeroom left, But I think there's a big need for a homeroom or advisory period or whatever you want to call it, but a space of time that's about building connection that's not through social media.
Right.
I think there's a piece where kids don't know how to make eye contact anymore. They don't know how to solve a problem through discussing it with someone, right? And so I think that's incredibly powerful that you guys have that space to start, experimenting and seeing how you can best use that space.
Yes. So it allows the tutoring, but also those kinds of things so that they can just disconnect and learn to relax,
What would you
not be
say,
so anxious.
speaking of relaxing, you have a tough job. So what's your go-to well-being strategy?
Well, I do what I swore I never would do when I first started on Weight Watchers, and I get up every morning at 4:15 in the morning because I don't have any time at the end of the day. So I get up at 4:15, put on my earbuds, I have my music going, I do my stretches because at my age now I've learned I have to stretch or things hurt. And then I get on the treadmill and I, do as much as I can in about 45-minute time span before I have to shower. And it just gets my head in the right place, puts me in the right frame of mind. My music is my therapy for sure. So that's what
What's
I
playing
do.
on your what's playing on your headphones while you're on the treadmill?
Everything. I listen to every music imaginable. I put, I went into, of course, iTunes, and I just download songs that I like. I don't download albums or anybody specific. I have everything from acid rock to country to Yanni, to pop to hip hop. It's all, and it just rotates through all of it. And every once in a while, a Christmas music comes on. It's great.
Keeps you in the spirit all year long. Kim,
Yep.
what would you say is a lot of times I ask people what their why is or what their purpose on the planet is, because that seems to put a little more oomph into whatever it is they're doing. If you were to tap into your purpose or your why, what would you say that is?
Mm. To be a cheerleader, um, to be a cheerleader for my kids, to be support for them, to be, in some cases, sadly, the parent that they don't have at home. I love my students. They give me the energy. On a bad day when I'm done dealing with adults, I'll call in as many kids as I can because they bring me joy. I just love my kids. You can imagine through the year, I'm now dealing with kids of kids that I had. So I've had, I can't even think of how many thousands of students over the 32 years. And just the, being able to impact their lives, to guide them, to encourage them, to tell them you can do this. Right now we're in summer school. We've got seniors that didn't graduate, and we absolutely are their cheerleaders, trying to pull them through just about the time they want to give up. We're like, no, you can do this. So they're my why.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. If you weren't in education, what do you think your job would have been? What, like I sometimes tell people I would have been a lounge singer somewhere, like laying on a piano. I don't know. What do you think if you weren't in education? What would your job have been?
I probably still would be working as a crisis counselor. When I first came to California, I did different things. One of the things I did, which was ridiculous, was I was an advisor for the Daily Press. So I was in charge of a bunch of little paper boys. And if they didn't do their job, then I had to go and deliver papers. Done with that after 6 months. I got my first counseling job in Hemet. Coming from Michigan, had no clue where Hemet was. So I get this job and I'm driving. I'm like, oh my God, it is forever away. But I enjoyed that job. We worked with people who were, some of them were suicidal and had been in the hospital and were coming out and reentering. Others, we answered the hotline. So we had a 38-hour sleepover shift where we stayed overnight there. And then we had a 10-hour awake shift over graveyard. So when people called in suicidal, we would, talk them off the ledge. We had patients that were rehabilitative. I mean, they just were always going to be crazy, and there's nothing that was going to change it. But just being there to be their sounding board, to be their sense of reality, to bring them back into this world as much as we could. So I probably would still be doing that, although I I think I've survived as long as I have, and I'm as youthful as I am because I am with the kids.
The kids do keep you young. I am a firm believer in that. Firm believer.
Yeah.
So let me ask you some just random questions. If you were to describe yourself as a piece of candy, what kind of candy would best be a metaphor for you? I know people love these questions.
Yeah. I don't know. What candy out there is hot, sassy, and salty. That's it.
Well, there's Red Hots. I don't know if they're salty, but they're red and
They're
hot.
not salty, but yeah, that it could work.
Oh, you know what? Maybe this is not a candy, but they do have like the Chex Mix that's got like the hot little stuff.
Oh yeah,
and it's kind of okay. So tell us why you're kind of hot. You're hot and spicy and salty and sassy.
'Cause I'm very sassy. I'm a smart aleck. You know, I'm soft in the center, but I'm hard outside. I'm compassionate, but I'm firm. I don't know.
No, I think that's good.
Sometimes can be sweet, I guess. Although I don't let that rumor out much.
What is one thing on your bucket list? Something you want to do, a place you want to go, or something you want to do that you haven't done yet?
I play with the idea of many things. As I grow closer to retirement, I'm like, oh, I could do this, I could do that, I could live here. And I play with the idea of maybe moving and living 6 months in Ireland, 6 months in Italy, 6 months, I have no idea. I haven't thought of any other place, just to experience life someplace else. But not permanent. You know, I want to come home. I've got my family here, and family's everything to me. But just to experience something different. How wonderful. You'd sit there and you sip your wine overlooking the vineyards, you know, and it just herding sheep, I don't know, in Ireland.
You could drink some Guinness at the pub after a long day.
Yes, the stout, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm going to ask you another question. I don't want you to overthink it, but if you could teach the world just one thing, there's lots to teach the world, but just one thing, what would it be? What would you want them to learn from you?
Compassion. You know, understanding that when a person is being probably the most vile they can be, you have to look at them and wonder, okay, what is really going on underneath? And maybe appreciating the fact that there's something going on we aren't aware of that makes them be that way. I don't believe that anybody is that said they set out to be evil or nasty. You know, there's something going on, and so being compassionate and recognizing that there's more to them.
Yeah, and you know that is so hard in the moment sometimes. It's hard not to take things personally, right? But if you just step back and take a breath and just say, okay, what is going on? You know, with that, a huge difference. Well, Kim, that's all we have. Thank you so much for being here and for being part of Thrive Tribe. Thrive Tribe, when you see Kim comment or like a post, you can be like, oh, I know who she is. I saw her in the video. And Thrive Tribe members, if you would
well, thank you.
Yeah, please reach out and let us know that you want to be interviewed. We really want to build belonging and cultivate connection in our little space here. So thanks again, Kim, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Bye. Happy Saturday, everyone.
Awesome.